Hi, this is Robert Smith. I'm still here in Craignolf, South Wales, and I'm answering questions. So Sherry White has a question. She says, I have 3. Can we stop an allergic reaction? Also asthma. All right, so I'm going to answer these 2. Asthma, allergic reaction. Of course, there's a lot of variations when you're dealing with this stuff. And that is, one, from my personal experiences, just like with pain, allergic reaction, it has its hypnosis as well. Now there's a lot of variations of this, especially when you got early children, allergic at birth. But when we're talking about adults, I bet you've experienced this. Here you are, you're talking to your friend on the phone, and your friend starts talking about how they have a cold. And as they're talking about the cold, and when you get off the phone, you actually start to feel like you have a cold too. Because there is what we call the hypnosis of illnesses. We have the hypnosis of pain, which basically means your brain will use its past resources to recreate, to follow suit on how to respond. I remember I was in Australia, and she's not the only one, but this is a very typical one. I'm in Australia, and this woman says, I have a horrible, horrible allergic reaction to peanuts. And so she came up, and she's in the magic chair in a live seminar, and I said, I'm sorry, you just ate a peanut. And all of a sudden, she starts to have an allergic reaction with no peanuts at all, with just words. Which basically means that her unconscious mind knows how to have an allergic reaction. And how this works is, as she has past experiences, her brain will use these experiences and reproduce with words. She actually went into an allergic reaction trance. So, how do you break the trances? That's the real question. Just like when you go to a memory, you remember a memory, and as you remember the memory, you feel like it's happening again. That's a trance. So how do you break the allergic trance or the asthma trance? Now, of course, I worked with hundreds of people with these type of ailments. One lady was Sarah. Sarah, for 18 years, had not just a severe, I worked with Sarah. 18 years, she had the worst adult asthma ever. She had to have a HEPA purifier in her car, always have inhalers. She had a specialized doctor that she saw frequently. And of course, I was seeing her many times, and I was addressing her emotional traumas, dealing with an abuse, sexual abuse, dealing with the accident in which she had, the controlling mother. This day she comes in, she goes, cure my asthma. I said, well, I don't know if I can, but I'll do the best what I can, and I'll help you. So what I did is I went to her experiences, every one that she gave me. And what we did is we started rewrite the story. We started changing the sensations in her body. And just by thinking, she could feel as if it was true, every memory. And we started changing those. And then we would test it, like one time she had, suffocated, because she had asthma. And she had a memory of someone putting a pillow over her face. And so we tap, tap, tap. We use what you call the DECA trauma process, which we dissipate the trauma. And as we do that, then we eventually test it, and then I said, I have a pillow. I said, okay, put it over your face. She said, yes. We tap on any resistance, put the pillow over her face, it's gone. Then we continue tapping on and addressing her mind and asthma. No lie, 18 years of asthma, gone. And 3 years later, I was at a health fair, and she walked in. Robert, I was just thinking about you. I was misting my flowers. And as I was misting, I said, I used to have asthma. And it's because of what you did. So, asthma, allergic reaction, is an internal unconscious process. And you can change that. Just remember, always be wise, be smart, change everything about it, your fears. I've even had Linda Esser, for example, is another good one. For all her life, she had severe migraines, allergic reaction to onions. Hated them. And of course, she's the first master FasterEFT practitioner. And her sister goes, well, if this FasterEFT really works, why don't you get rid of your reaction to onions? And so she did. She went and ate onions at her sister. She was amazed, but she still wasn't a believer. Now, the cool thing about FasterEFT, Eutaptics, and what I teach, you don't have to believe it for it to work. All you have to do is try it in the proper way. Because there's a lot of people who write me and said, FasterEFT is not working for me. And I said, first of all, if it's not working, you're not using it correctly. FasterEFT is not about tapping. It's about your mind. Learn how to drive your mind. Learn how to take control. Learn how to transform your life from the inside out. FasterEFT, Eutaptics. Eutaptics is the newest training system. Not only is it the newest training system, but it is the most profound transformational system in the world, my opinion. And it will be a part of your life once you start using it on yourself every day. Get some good training. Learn how to take control of your mind. Learn how to change your body, change your life. Everything will change. There are so many people who have transformed their lives from being ill, allergic, PTSD, pain, bad relationships, bad stuff, and they changed it themselves. They conquered things they never thought possible, and they did it by using what I teach. Come join us. Be a part of the team. There's an online training course, level 1. Come to a live training system. We'll talk to you later. Peace.